So let's start. Hello, people. How are you? Good evening. This is Miss Lourdes Uzuriaga, and here we are in our business English class, and this is advanced level. So take into consideration that we are going to talk in English all the time, okay? So I won't be able to translate most of the words, and in any case you have a specific doubt or something to help you out, of course I can do it, but in this case I should keep on talking in English, okay? So welcome, thank you for being here, for connecting to this class. And as you know, we are like having new content. So the classes that we are going to do, we're going to offer our new topics. So it's going to be really exciting to explore new knowledge, experience, and examples. Okay, so today we are going to talk about content. Okay, so why is it important? Okay, we are in an era of social networks and Google and Facebook, and maybe it's the first time that someone can be very famous because of some video, like homemade video, and that's it. So you don't need much money or publicity or resources to be famous. So that's a huge opportunity for us because as professionals, we would really want new and great opportunities. And as you know, most of the great opportunities are not publicly shared, you know. It is more something related to networks, to related to someone who is searching for an assistant or a manager, and they just want to interview people who comes with a professional recommendation, or maybe it's someone that they already know, because we all want to we don't want to make mistakes, and part of that is that we need some certainty, and that certainty comes from asking for referrals. Okay, so I'm going to share two personal cases where I could use content and the social platforms to get to where I wanted to go. Okay, so I hope these examples could give you some reference in case you are starting as a professional, or maybe you want to improve your options, or you want to meet new people and start something new. Okay, so you already know me. My name is Lourdes, and actually I'm more close to the entrepreneur and trainer phase in my life, because some years ago I used to work for big companies, and I also travel to other country, and that's where I could improve my English skills. And now in these classes I like to share content, but also connect it with my experience, because I believe that it's going to give you more value. Okay, so what we want to achieve today is that you could reflect a little bit about these examples, and you can understand the importance of professional content to build a professional brand, expand your network, and start meaningful conversation towards a specific goal. Okay, so let's start. So these questions are for you. I'm sure that there must be someone in your mind that you would like to meet, that you would like to talk or learn from that person, because you admire him or her, because you you want to achieve something like they did, or you want some you like their history and you would like to thrive like they did. Okay, so in any case, you don't want to think about it too much. I prepare 3 questions that are going to help you clarify this. Okay, so follow me through this. So if you had the chance to choose someone to mentor you, who would it be? Okay, mentor. It's like that person who's going to guide you or is going to help you out when you have a problem and you are kind of stuck in it, and you would like to hear something uh, outside your head from someone who has more experience than you, and maybe they already have gone through that, and sometimes we don't have the solutions and we really need some, like, a different perspective to understand. Okay, so for example, in my case, that person, let me introduce her. That person would be this one. I believe you can see it. Let me put it like, yeah. So that person would be this one at the middle of this photo. Her name is Jessica Livingston, and well, I'm kind of a little obsessed with her. I'm just joking. The thing is that I really like her story. I really like what she achieved personally and professionally, as a woman, as a woman who also leads, or yeah, leads a project. Um, I I really like her style, how she communicates her ideas. I'm kind of, I've done my work about Jessica, so I believe that you must have something close to what I mention in my case about Jessica Livingston. For example, the other question would be, when you struggle with your work or business, what reference comes to your mind? You know, you are kind of sad or kind of disappointed about a problem or a situation that you have. And you say something like, well, if that person could do it, so can I. Okay. So what, who would be that person? In this case, it would be, let's think about it. I believe it would be, again, Jessica. Yeah, I really admire her. Or the third question would be, what expert or famous professional or business person would you like to have to ask him or her something? Okay. So in this case, there's a change. There's a yeah. I I I found a YouTuber. She's from Canada, and her name is Sonny Leonarduzzi. So I really like her job and what she's doing with video marketing. So when I usually have some problems with that, I go to her channel and try to get a video that can help me improve that, or solve my problem. And she will be that person for me. So I'm very sure that you must have someone. But in this case, I would say, like, try to select someone who is not too far from you. Okay. For example, I could say like Jack Ma, or I could say something like, I don't know, Elon Musk. Okay, but they are kind of far away from my social network. So I should be a little more um, realistic and just choose another person that I can contact through LinkedIn. Okay. So in this case, let's go to the first example. Okay. So I'm going to share what I wanted to achieve, what I did, how I did it, and how is it going by now. Because this is not something in a, like, it's not a short-term plan. Okay, you just have to, like, take baby steps and then improve it. So after that, you can accelerate. Okay. So in this case, what I wanted to achieve, and I didn't know that Pedro Pineda was going to be that person who was going to help me with this, but he showed up in my newsfeed, and I saw that he could help me with this, and I jumped right through that. What I wanted to achieve was that I wanted to increase, okay, I wanted to have more contacts who are or were part of a program that I want to join, that is called Y Combinator, okay? So in this case, I saw Pedro Pineda's post because we have a contact in common, and that person commented in his post. So when he made a comment, I saw his post, and I also saw Pedro for the first time. So in that moment, Pedro was not my direct contact, okay? So Pedro shared a document that is very interesting, and it's a document related to the culture and the guidance that Netflix gave to his employees, okay? So this is a document that you wouldn't find in internet. So just someone who has that document would share that. So it came in a really in a really great time for me, because in our company we were working on some changes about how we recruit people, okay? And we had some doubts because some hypotheses didn't resolve what we wanted to achieve, and we knew we needed changes, but we didn't know which ones. So when I saw Pedro's post, I was truly happy to find it, okay? And what I did, let me show you here. What I did is that I joined the conversation and I commented in that post to thank Pedro for his contribution and letting him know how it helped me. Because, you know, when we give something, it's really nice to hear people tell you how you are helping them, because we do things to help people, just like this class. And in this case, Pedro answered to my comment like in after a few minutes, so it was very instantaneous. And it seems that he liked my post. And what I also saw is that the other posts were not so related to the document. The rest of the posts were about how Netflix was wrong or right about that document. So they were talking about Netflix, but they didn't connect with the owner of the post. So I believe that in this case, my comment stood out because I was talking to him as an entrepreneur, and I am also an entrepreneur. So it was easier for me. It was easier for me to connect with him and to be empathetic about how a content can help a business. So in this case, after having this little talk with Pedro, and I must say that I don't know him, I kind of took a risk and sent him a connection request to connect through LinkedIn. And he accepted because he already knew what I did, and he already knew that I was part of his tribe because I was also an entrepreneur. So what I'm trying to say here is that when you comment, don't just put like cliche phrases like thank you, awesome, that's great, okay. They don't have, they have a meaning, but they don't have an intention and a purpose to go beyond the content and connect with the person. So thanks to this, I have one more contact in one more contact who is part of the program that I want to join. And if you think about it, if you have more people close to what you want to achieve, it's going to be easier because you are going to have more sources of information, advice, and referrals, you know. So it may sound like silly, but it was great. So let's take it to your own goals, okay? It may not be like someone show up in your newsfeed, but you also can search for people with specific phrases and words. For example, you are a mechanical engineer and you want to connect with a senior professional who also works in your field and is part of a mining, a big mine, for example, a big mining company. Well, in LinkedIn, you can search for it and start to see what kind of content they share and try to join a conversation. So you are not a stranger for them. And after a few months, you may be able to send them a LinkedIn request. And now that they know you, they are going to accept your request. Is that easy? So this is example number 2. Okay. In this case, this person is not in Latin America. I believe Salma is from Pakistan, but she's a great influencer and a great YouTuber. And I knew about Salma like, let me think, like 6 months ago. Yeah. And I kind of saw, I saw all her videos until now, and she really knows what she's talking about. So I wanted to connect with her, but this was like a cold contact, as salespeople say, because she never heard about me And it was going to be weird, to be true. So I started to follow her signs and try to know her better so I may have a better shot to connect with her. So what was my goal? I wanted to receive Salma's advice and thoughts about video marketing because I had some questions because I'm also a marketer. I'm part of a business, so I need to market my products. I wanted to learn her strategies and mistakes because that's also part of the knowledge that an expert has. I wanted to expand my digital entrepreneurs network because even she lives in Pakistan, she has clients all over the world and she travels a lot. She goes to big events and share her knowledge. So I want some of that. And also I wanted to increase my exposition in LinkedIn. So before making this move in LinkedIn, what I already did. She has a mailing list, so I joined her mailing list like 3 months ago, and I used to read what she shared, and I started to understand what was important for her. So, through the content of a person, you can see some parts of his or her personality. She also has a Facebook group for her followers, so I joined the Facebook group, and I was just in like reading mode. I didn't wrote too much, so it was just to explore and already comment whenever I thought I could share something helpful. Okay, I try to avoid to be spammy and just comment in topics that I had some kind of experience or topics where I really had big questions. Okay. So what happened next? Yesterday, yeah, it was yesterday, she shared a big post in LinkedIn because she was invited by Mary Forleo, who is a big YouTuber. She's really big. She's very known in our sector. And she wanted to share that she was invited to her podcast and wanted to share some thoughts and learnings and also to promote the video because YouTube is about like people who watch that. So I believe I was very lucky because there was like 13 likes, yeah, 12 likes, and no one commented. And in LinkedIn, a like, it's good, but the comment is much better because someone took the time and the effort to write something. So it's more engaged. The person who comments is more engaged than the person who just likes something. So I had the chance to write the first comment to, you know, like sharing that I thought she really deserved it to be in that podcast, and like giving her a promise that I wanted to see the video, but I would do it later because I was at work. And what happened is that, again, she replied my comment right away, and she shared the link. And just like the other example, but by this time, Salma was not my direct contact. I just followed her on LinkedIn. So after that, I thought, okay, let's give it a try. And as you can see, now Salma is my direct contact. So why is it important to have a direct contact? And it's important because when you have something to say, you can write that person right away. But if you are not connected, you don't have a channel to share information. So it was great for me because in a matter of 3 or 4 days, I could increase my network with really powerful people, and really, these people, they are way beyond my league. So I think that having them in my network is going to push the boundaries and is going to challenge myself to do my work, do my homework before contact them, because they have already gone through that. So again, this may sound silly, but when you have a new contact, you access to all their network. So it's not just one person, it's like 1,000 or 3,000 people. And in this case, it's people from around the world. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I really recommend that you may use LinkedIn at least once a week. Let's put it that way. Just once a week. And start to see who is starting conversation, who is sharing content, who gives you comments, who gives you likes, because it means that you also have followers, and that's great. Remember that the concept of leadership is someone who has followers. So if you are building your network of followers, you are building your path to become a leader. And that's going to help you with your professional endeavors. Okay, so let's get right to our conclusions. What I could say from these examples and what I've personally learned from it is that no one's going to give us opportunities until they know us first. Because trust takes time, and we have to start somewhere. And that place, that somewhere, is LinkedIn. and it's also free. So you don't even need to go to a place, just connect through LinkedIn. Also, the power of social, in this case, professional networks, is exponential. Okay. Networks are exponential because we can access to many people through just one person. That's great. Also, when you start a conversation with someone, try to be more human. So let me explain. True empathic and especially target content can help you more, so you stand out, because you attract people instead of chasing them. So in this class, I'm not saying that I'm chasing people. That's not true. I'm just following them and making a move in the best moment. I believe that professional networks, professional relationships began from a person-to-person relationship. So if you work on it, you're going to have better professional relationships. Okay, so I hope you could learn something from it, because now that we have so much competition, being aware of socializing, connecting, and building professional networks is going to help us differentiate our profile. And that at least worked for me. Okay, so thank you very much. This is our student survey, so I'm going to leave it here. And also let me share this in the chat. So it's that. Okay, so this is our survey. Please help us improve in our class and give me your thoughts. Okay, so this was Miss Lourdes, and see you next class. Thank you for connecting. And I'm going to share this with the camera so you can access to the material. Okay. See you. Bye.